This is the Kate Daly Show.
Make a new plan, stand. No need to be coy, Roy. Just get yourself free. Hop on the bus. Don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key and get yourself free.
Welcome back. Kate Daly Show. I've got Uncle Milty here. I love it. Who doesn't know the words to that? Come on. Everyone does.
I don't.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, everyone knows. So welcome back. Of course, I get my supplements at activatefiq.com. Make sure you go there and get your supplements there because they're so fantastic. Take the magnesium and copper one, take them together. And then also the whole C, the sleep product's awesome. The histamine's great. It's all natural. They use the best ingredients. They actually absorb into the body. That's why I go to Activate FIQ. I won't take other supplements anymore. So I've thrown so many other ones out just because you have to take so many to even try to get them to absorb into your body. Not with activatefiq.com. So go to activatefiq.com and the code word is Kate. And they really will work and you really will be able to tell a difference. All right. So I just wanted to say on the migrant thing really quick. There's a lot of leftists out there debunking the whole thing. Oh, there's no violence. They're perfectly fine. They're all sad and everyone wants to pick lettuce, whatever. Then you have the other side of it, which is they're in every town. Violence is everywhere. And so there's got to be the truth in there somewhere. And I do feel like we're letting a lot of people in over the border, and it is an invasion that's happening. And so I know that there's violence, but I do not think it's everywhere. Could be in the future, but I don't know. But you brought up a story about Utah. What?
Well, yeah, it was a story that somebody posted again. It was from a couple years ago, and I finally got to find out the exact story on it. But it was a couple years ago. But still, the issue is that when a state police force, whether it's the highway patrol or state police, whatever they're called, becomes the Gestapo for the governor's office, there's a problem. This was actually a Senate committee hearing where a state senator had a person arrested because they were wearing a We the People t-shirt. And it's just disgusting. And we don't always hear about these things happening. They happen in your local city council meetings and stuff. They often throw people out just because they don't like what they're saying.
We ended up having that gentleman on the show.
Yeah. And so it's just a sad day. But the fact is, people are bringing these things up. Even though it's in the past, they're concerned it's going to get worse now.
And it will. And the cop was wearing a Ukrainian flag on his thing. But because somebody...
The senator.
Oh, the senator, yes.
On his lapel.
On his lapel for Ukraine. And here's this guy wearing a We the People t-shirt, and he's the one that gets arrested.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something really wrong with that.
There's a lot of stories like that happening.
But we don't hear about them because the media doesn't make an issue out of these.
Don't like to.
This one probably would have stayed quiet, but it was on Rumble.
Ah, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I wondered about that. It's so interesting. You know, my governor, who is so hated in my state, he's so disrespected, but it's so funny to watch people because they can't stand him. And he is such a leftist, and it's been coming out for years that he's a leftist, parading around and lying and is a conservative. Well, he went over to the gravesite with Trump. And he took a picture, so it looked like he wanted to make it look like Trump was on his side because he has put up so many hateful tweets about Trump and has been so mean about Trump. But he wants his support because he is a little desperate right now.
Sure.
Okay. So he goes to the cemetery, and this was like top of the news the last few days. He went to the cemetery, took a photo, and put it out, and you can't do that.
No, it's illegal.
Yeah, for campaigning, right?
For campaigning.
In this situation. And so, yeah, he looks like a fool, like a total moron. And I'm so glad. I was actually really happy about it, just because he is such a moron that he would actually go and try to put up a photo. And he did put up a photo where it makes it look like Trump is endorsing him. Trump's not endorsing him.
No, but in all fairness, to be fair to Cox, he did say, Well, that photo should have never got released.
But he released
Yeah,
it.
I released it, but it shouldn't have happened.
A lot of games, a lot of things. It's kind of like the Zelensky thing. He's got Igor behind him. It's all a lie. They put up a movie. They advertise a movie, make it look like Zelensky could be president. What a great president he'd be because he'd put him into NATO, which is exactly what they wanted. And he's colluding with people in lots of other countries that we don't really talk about. And I just found it to be kind of interesting, the games people play and all of the lies out there. And people are starting to notice. Thank goodness.
I'm looking forward to the day when you can rob a bank and say, "Ooh, it was a mistake."
It was a mistake. It was just a mistake.
Yeah.
So yes, if the other thing I wanted to talk about, we're not going to have time, but we have the next hour, and we have a lot to talk about in the next hour. But there's I don't know if people are noticing this, but there's a really kind of strange thing with DARPA, a strange thing going on. Elon decides that he's going to let people use Starlink in an emergency, for a mass emergency. Then we have DARPA working on synthetic blood. They're going to do it. They're going to figure out a way to make synthetic blood run through people's bodies. And they are expecting some sort of mass event that will put people in a position where that's the only answer, is the fake blood running through your system.
Yeah.
Very
it really
strange.
won't be the only answer. The other answer would be to choose death.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Which I would choose under those circumstances.
You know, it's very strange. There's a lot to it. They are, it goes even back to the fentanyl that we started with in this conversation, taking people that are unconscious from an accident, what have you, and then putting them in trials of fentanyl and ketamine without their knowledge. And they're calling it consent because no one else is around. So they're consenting even though they're not consenting. There's a lot to this story, but I was looking at DARPA and I was realizing what DARPA is doing right now. And all of it is about major trauma, mass casualties coming up, all these things that they want to invest and are investing millions of dollars into DARPA to solve some of these things coming. I'm not trying to gaslight. I'm just trying to put pieces together and say, boy, it's really strange that everybody thinks some sort of mass casualty event is coming. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we hear about it all the time.
I know. And DARPA's sincerely working on a lot of this. And that story about the fentanyl ketamine treatment that they want to slide into people without their knowledge, maybe it has a lot to do with organ donation, but against, because it keeps them in a certain state of being. But it is very strange. And I was just kind of noticing this. I was studying what DARPA was doing, and I was thinking, obviously they think something's coming or they wouldn't be doing all of this. But all of the stuff they do, they get money for doing it in a way for military, always military. Military needs this. Military needs this. It's very, very strange. Be right back. Kate Daly Show. We have a lot in the next hour. Stay with us. Be right back.
Thanks for listening to The Kate Daly Show. All opinions expressed by the program participants on The Kate Daly Show are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Patriot Radio.